Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, going to do another test with the Silky. This time on a bit of hardwood. Gnarly bit of hardwood. So let's give it a go. Apparently, been reading up on it a bit. You're supposed to do, I don't know if that is a bit of hardwood. Anyway, it's a lot more solid than I've been using. I've tried out. You're supposed to just take it slowly and let the saw do the work and not try and bend it. And it does it on the back cut. Okay, that's bloody good. That is easy. This is only the second time I've ever used it. That's a wonderful saw. That's really easy. That's not too bad at all. That's just ripping through it. Just light pressure, just so you don't bend the saw, and let the saw do the work. Well, that's a fantastic effort. That's a fairly decent piece of wood, and it's just ripping through it. It's not too bad at all. They said, you just do even pressure, just light pressure, and let the saw do the work, because and it just rips through it. And I'm not very fit. That part, yeah. I'm sitting down too, so it's not the easiest thing to do when you're sitting down. This is a bit of hard. I think this one is a bit of a hardwood. This one. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Let's give it a go with that one. Oh yeah, I can see how you can bend a saw very easily if you get a little bit too enthusiastic. And it's more about letting the saw do the work and not trying to rush it. And just, yeah. Okay. I understand that now. I understand the saw a bit better. It's not about rushing it. The propensity is to rush it, and you don't. What you do is just let the saw work. So it's just even strokes with mild downward pressure, because you've got to keep the saw working, but you don't want to as soon as you start trying to put pressure on the blade, this blade is very thin and it'll end up bending, and that's where you'll snap the blade. Okay, I understand that now. Because that's where people are complaining that they're snapping blades. And what they're trying to do is rush it. Because normal saws, or other saws, not normal saws, other saws have a stiff blade and they have to work hard to keep downward pressure on it and work it harder. Where with these ones, it only works on the draw cut. So it only actually works when you draw it back. But you only keep gentle pressure on it just so that enough to keep it working. And you shouldn't actually be puffing too much as you're working the saw, because you only need a gentle pressure on it. You don't need to actually be working too hard to do it. It's just a matter of just enough pressure to keep the saw blade working. Oh, I hit the lock. Sorry. Yeah, that was my fault. I went up and hit the lock. So that's something you've got to keep an eye on. Fair enough. I disengaged the lock. As I said, this is a brand new saw, so I'm still learning how to use it. That's brilliant. I love it. They are well worth the money, because that is ripping through that without any effort at all. And while I am not as fit as I used to be, I know I am getting puffed out doing it. You don't have to. They are very sharp. You don't have to work that hard to get it to work. So yeah, I wanted to do a little bit more of a demonstration, and that's a reasonably hard wood. Like yeah, it's not too bad. It's a reasonable hardwood, and yeah, so I've done some reasonable chopping with that, and just to show what the Silky can do. I'm very glad I got it now. The handle is really comfortable, nice and smooth. You do have to be careful to come up on and disengage that lock. Thankfully, if you do, if you do disengage it while you're working, it'll just usually go up into the up position. So yeah, that's a good thing. The one thing it doesn't do is lock closed, which I would have preferred. That's the one thing. But anyway, yeah, just a bit of a demo on cutting some wood, more cutting. Yeah, for $60, I think they're worth the money, because the other saws that I've had haven't been that easy. I would have been absolutely buggered doing those cuts, and that blade is very sharp. I did take a nick out of my thumb just by playing with it. But yeah, nice, beautiful, smooth cuts, and it rips through. I wasn't timing. I didn't have another phone to time it. Yeah, it ripped through those ones really easily. And me sitting down is not the most conductive way of doing it. If you're standing up and doing it, you tend to be able to work at it a bit better without tiring yourself out so much, I think. Yeah. So, but as you can see there, it does a beautiful job at cutting them. And they're not too insubstantial pieces either. They're not the thinnest bits of wood I could have chosen. So yeah, I'm doing reasonable cuts there. So yeah, that wasn't hardwood. That one was a bit softer, but this one is fairly dense. That one there is a fairly dense wood. So yeah, wasn't too bad at all. Anyway, hope this has been informative. Yeah, I like it. It's not a bad saw at all. I think it'd be worth the money. I'm probably going to get some use out of that one. I'm glad I bought it now, and shown that it does work reasonably well, or very well, exceptionally well actually. I am going to get a medium blade for fatwood, because these fine tooth ones are for hardwoods. And I was reading last night, even though the bloody blades are worth nearly as much as a saw, The saw's $50 plus postage, and a spare blade is $45, free post. So yeah, the blades are almost as expensive as the swords are, which is yeah, a little bit problematic. But anyway, I am going to get a a medium to spare blade, because they are specifically designed for softwoods, pines and such, and they do say they resist resins. So they're obviously made for fatwood, which is what I want it for. So I'm going to swap out. I'll just swap the although thinking about it, if it's only another $15, I might just get another one and have one for fatwood and one for hardwoods. That way too. Yeah, I'll probably do that. I probably will do that for $15. What's the difference, honestly? Seeing how it just chopped through that, because yeah, I do like the idea of having one specifically for fatwood as well, because yeah, with my mate Concerned Aussie being able to get onto fatwood, I might be able to harvest fatwood out in the wild as well. So yeah, anyway, rambling on. Thanks for watching.